Hi guys, out in my garage using some expanding foam to fill that gap in the bottom of the Barbie boat. That's expanding quite well at the moment. I always overfill it, but then I'd rather cut the excess off than worry about having to fill any little gaps afterwards. So there was a little hole in the front there and a couple at the back. That's where the wheels went, and then there was a big hole there which is the seats on the other side. So yeah, that expanding foam, that's probably a couple of years old, and I really didn't expect it to work, so I bought another can of it. It's expensive stuff, but it did work. The tube was completely rock solid where we'd used it last time, so this time I used a drinking straw, and I'm trying out Watt Waster's idea. I've got a pipe cleaner stuck up there now, so you should be able to clean it out when we've finished, or at least when it's dried, just by pulling that out, and that pulls out the congealed foam at the same time. Not that it matters, because that drinking straw is obviously disposable. It's more a matter of what's in there, and I did have to clean that out before it would work, because there was some congealed foam actually in the whatever we call that bit, the trigger or the valve. Oops, oh, now look what I've done. Oh well, we'll leave that to dry. Yeah, don't go touching it at the moment, it's still wet. So, well, we'll leave it overnight, and then tomorrow I'll try carving it. Back out in the garage, left this overnight. Seems to have gone off nice and hard. So, we've got to try and cut that off now. Okay, now for the bigger job. Right, well, that's filled the hole. Let's see if we can tidy that up a bit, and then we're going to have to coat it with something. To seal it. It's gone a bit soft just there. Might need to leave it a little bit longer. It's a little bit, it might still be a little bit damp there. Needs to go off a little bit more. So that's the general idea. What I'll do is I'll use this offcut and test that with various types of paint. You're supposed to be able to paint this with no trouble whatsoever. So we'll find out. That looks to be a little bit thinner in the middle there. Hasn't set quite so dense, I think is the word. Less dense, more dense. Right. I sprayed that with Wilco lacquer spray, and that's certainly soaked in. You can see it's a dished surface now. So if I sprayed that on there, we'd have a dish underneath, or in place of where I'm trying to fill it. That little bit there doesn't seem to have done us bad, to be honest. That was auto spray paint. That's an acrylic. That one there, I put a very thick layer of that type of varnish. That's going to take quite a while to go off anyway, so we're going to have to come back later. And this one, I've put a thick layer of that varnish. This is the stuff that I use on my painted rocks, and it dissolves the writing when I put it on there, which is annoying. So what I have to do is I have to use this varnish for the writing, which came from Poundland a few years ago, and then they changed to this stuff. And as I say, this stuff, I think what it is, it's got lots of thinners in it to, so they can sell more of it cheaply. So that dissolves the writing on my painted rocks. That doesn't. So I put that on there thick to see what happens to that bit, and I put that on that one thickly to see what happens with that one. And so far it doesn't look too bad, but I'm going to have to leave that for a day, I expect, or at least for several hours, and come back, because what I would like to do is give that several layers of varnish to protect it, because it's quite soft, that stuff. So we'll see. Well, I've left these for about 6 hours. They've all deformed where we put the varnish and the spray paint on them. So I think I'll just try plain acrylic paint to try and coat it. I'm just looking here, this is actually gone in a bit on its own since I've cut that back. It's actually deformed, shrunk. That's annoying. If I'd have known it was going to do that, I wouldn't have cut it down this morning. So I'm going to have to fill it anyway. Oh, that's really annoying. I didn't expect it to shrink back at all. I expected it to fill out more. Well, I don't think I've ever had foam do that before, not that I've noticed anyway. That's definitely sunk in, because I'd cut it off flush and there's about 1/4 inch in there now. What to do? Yeah. I think I'll give it a coat of that stuff. Just ordinary acrylic paint. See if it deforms any more, and then we might have to put something else in it to fill it out again. That's very frustrating. Right, we've got about 4 or 5 coats of that white acrylic paint on here now. It's stiffened up quite a bit. I've also rubbed it down a few times. I'll leave that to dry really hard, and then I'll coat it with varnish. I've actually brought it indoors into the conservatory here, where it will actually get very hot, and that should help it dry out pretty well, and then we'll varnish it. Another bright sunny afternoon. So I've brought the Barbie boat out here so we can varnish it and get the benefit of the hot weather. Dry it out quickly. A little bit windy too. All up together. So we've now got the underside sealed. I've also taken the opportunity to add a couple of mounting positions for my camera. Now, putting it right at the back there will probably cause a problem because we already sink at the back, even though I've moved the battery to the front. But we'll give it a try like that at some time. But I've also melted a hole through just here so I can move that bracket, mounting bracket, up to there. But at the moment that's in there quite nicely. We won't be going out today. Today's Sunday. That's not a reason for not going out, it's just that we won't be going out today to test it. So tomorrow we might test it, although the weather forecast is from midnight tonight for the next 60 hours. We're supposed to have thunderstorms. So I rather suspect that we might not be able to try it tomorrow. I expect I'll charge the battery up and put it in the car just in case. But there may be a delay. Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.